So I have reached a point where I trust politicians more than I trust PSA. I think our federal government is probably more efficient than PSA at this point. And I'm gonna walk you through my experience, and with the caveat, I'm not looking for PSA 10s. I don't do anything with modern cards. I'm not into that. I'm only into vintage cards, and I only grade very few cards that I just want to be protected. They're sentimental to me. I have a 64 Mickey Mantle that my dad gave me. It graded a 1.5. I have a Pete Rose 64 that I got signed by Pete Rose before he passed away. I've had that card since I was a kid, so for about 45 years. I got that graded just to authenticate the signature, but also protect the card so I can handle it, I can show it off, whatever. And so my favorite football player, my favorite Dallas Cowboy, of course, is Roger Staubach. His rookie card is one of the most difficult cards to find centered. New York Times even came out with something that said the top 8 vintage cards that are the most difficult to find centered. It, along with a Jim Brown card, a highlight Jim Brown card, those were the 2 most difficult vintage football cards to find centered. So when I saw one locally, I was like, you know what? A, I didn't think it was real, and B, I thought it might be a reprint or somebody had cut it, because the card that I sent in to PSA was really well centered. And once again, I'm not expecting a PSA 10. I'm not expecting a 9, an 8. But what they did to my grade based on what others look like is absolutely mind-blowing. They gave me, here's the actual card, and I'm going to show you up close. It's a 3.5. 3.5. So, right, I don't mind a 3.5 if that's what others are grading them at, right? Like, if other cards with the same defects, I guess, or the same condition were getting the same grades, I would be all for it. I'm cool. But I'm going to show you what a 2 looks like. I'm going to show you what a 3 looks like. I'm going to show you what a 4, a 5, and a 6 look like. And I'm even going to show you what an 8.5 looks like that PSA has graded, which to me personally, it renders PSA grades completely worthless for vintage cards. If you want to buy into it, that's your own cross to bear. But for me personally, I will never grade another card with PSA. And like I said, I've only graded a few, so it's not like they're going to go bankrupt because Brett doesn't grade his cards with PSA. What I am telling you is the fact that we hold these grades as the gospel, and PSA really isn't accountable to anybody or anything, is ridiculous. Let's get into it. I need my glasses for this because I want to walk through this. Let's go with the PSA 2. So this is pretty close. This is pretty close to what my card graded at. You can see the terrible corners. I mean, atrocious corners. There's a crease right there. Atrocious corners, rounded corners. I mean, this is truly a 2. I probably would have never sent this card in to get graded other than for protection, right? Because all 4 corners around it, it's horribly off center. It's everything a 2 should be and then some. All right, so that's a 2. Let's go up to a 3. So really close to my card, according to PSA. Here we go. Horribly miscut. That's a soft corner. There's some problems right there in the pink with the Cowboys. There's another soft corner. Like I say, it's way miscut. I mean, they almost cut the pink border off that you can see. I mean, this is nowhere near the condition of my card. It's crazy. All right, that's the 3. Let's go ahead and do a 5. Let's go do a 5 real quick. All right, off center. That's the first thing. And this isn't as bad as the previous copy, but this is pretty bad off. The pink border's fine. All in all, not terrible, not great, but it's so bad. His jersey's fine. The actual picture of him is good, but it's horribly off center. It's got roughly the same corners as mine, maybe a little worse, and that's a 5. That's a 5. Mine's a 3.5. This one's a 5. Once again, don't understand it. I'm not expecting a 10, but I'm expecting better than a 3.5 if these are truly the grades they got. This one here, this one's going to be a 6. Not bad. There's a little damage to the pink right there. These are just goofy cards to begin with pink as the primary color, but it is the Roger Staubach rookie, and as a fan, you know, it makes sense I would have one of these. Look at this spot right here. This is a 6, so this is the highest grade we've looked at, and it has that spot on its jersey. Another okay corner, I guess. I don't know. And this one's more off-center than mine. So the card I turned in, we're going to get to my card here in a second. The card I turned in, this is a 6. So this is full 2 grades up from me, 2.5 grades up. And now let's get into the 8.5, about an 8.5. This is a really sharp card. This is everything I would expect an 8.5 to be. It's a really good card. I can see why this would get an 8.5, but I believe the centering is really, really good on this card. I believe that my card, there's a little white speck right there in the pink, but my card, I believe, is closer to this card than it is to the 3 or the 4 that I just showed you. Jersey's clean. There's a little black right there, but I mean, nitpicking it. But I can see why this card got an 8.5. It's a nice card. Let's just see what this 4 looks like. Let's go back to a 4. It's a little more off-centered. I don't think I have a corner that bad on my card. So this card actually got graded higher than my card with those bad corners. And then just watch right here. This is going to be, what is this on this card? It's like some residue right there, like a price tag that was put on the card and removed. How does that, the 4 bad corners, you can even see cardboard underneath that. I don't even have that in my card. It's a little off center, yet it's still graded higher than mine. That's what really gets to me after a while. But okay, so here's my card. Feel free to nitpick it. My point is, like I say, not that it deserves a 10, but it does deserve better than a 3.5. These are my corners here. There's a little white speck under the S. His jersey's clean. There's a little bit of a soft corner there. His jersey's clean. There's a little white line right there in the blue, barely noticeable. And then if we back out of it, you can see that it's centered. Here's my point. I'm going to be looking elsewhere, a better solution to just protect my cards. I don't care about PSA grades. I just care about the legitimacy and everybody putting credibility behind PSA. And like I said, thinking it's the gospel. It is not. I don't know how we got to this point in collecting. And I sound bitter. I just want the PSA grades to mean something. And if you don't have standards, and a PSA from 10 years ago, a PSA 3 from 10 years ago needs to be a PSA 3 today. If it's a 10 years ago, it needs to be a 10 today. And if you can't say that, then there's really no benefit to grading the cards. There's no legitimacy to the grades. I don't, like I say, I'm going to go with like a mint case. I'm going to go with other cases that don't grade, other services don't grade, to protect my cards from now on. And like I said, I'm not under the delusion that I'm going to bankrupt PSA for this. I'm just fed up with it. And I don't see how people are still sending in their cards. This card right here took 6 months to get back. And I did that back in December. 6 months. Just to protect the card. It was an inexpensive way to protect the card at the time. I just don't feel like waiting and mailing off my cards for 6 months. But this deserves a lot better than a 3.5 to me. That's all I'm saying.